We'll go to Ethereum. And we'll do this Ethereum analysis for about 5 minutes, and then I'll jump back into some comments in a second, as I've just said. So Ethereum, not much has changed from the last video. Really not much to talk about here on Ethereum, really. I mean, it just looks bad, right? Looking at Ethereum here, we can see we had a long-term ascending wedge formation. We've dropped that, we've lost that, and that happened around 3,800, and we've dropped about 43% from that zone. So big drop from that ascending wedge formation, and we're currently kind of below support here on Ethereum, and between support and resistance. And so we can flip this box red, because that is a resistance box now. That box between 3,000 and 2,600 is red. Now on Ethereum, the critical breaker is 4K. And you'll ask, hey, why is that so high? Why is the Bitcoin critical breaker so low and the Ethereum critical breaker so high? Because I have less confidence that Ethereum will drive the market than I do with Bitcoin. And Ethereum needs to get higher, in my opinion, than Bitcoin does in order for me to be bullish on it again. Okay, you could even say, hey, maybe 3,400. It really depends on your perspective. The bull market support band is below 4K, and so maybe I would be inclined to consider 3,400 as the major support for Ethereum we need to break. And for that reason, I'll put a thick blue line there. But right now, I'm looking at 4K. And as this trends downwards a bit more, I'd probably look at that quite extensively. We've got the 50-day, the 50-day for 200-day, and the bull market support band at around that 3,700 to 3,500 region. So that's the major resistance for sure. Yeah, I agree. And we need to be getting above that point in order to be bullish again on Ethereum. Now, what we can see on Ethereum is a death cross coming in. Okay, and a lot of people don't like death crosses. A lot of people see death crosses on Bitcoin and they think a reason for a bounce, right? A death cross is when the 50-day SMA crosses the 200-day SMA, and we usually see a capitulation after that point, okay? So what we saw on Bitcoin only a couple weeks ago, actually, is a death cross, and it actually led to a downwards trend for once. In May, we saw a death cross, and it actually led to an upwards trend, or not much more of a downwards trend. They're quite misleading, but even though they're misleading, generally they are bearish. It's a bearish indicator. So yes, sometimes it might play out the opposite way, and sometimes it might be a fake out, but generally it is a bearish pattern, and we can't deny that. And when we see a death cross, we usually don't want to be entering the market too quickly afterwards. And so we're going to be seeing that death cross on Ethereum in about probably 2 days. And if we looked at the RSI, we're seeing no RSI divergence on Ethereum yet, which means that the strength is simply not here yet. The bulls are not buying these lows too much. We might see it soon. But so far, the downwards trend has been too strong. What I would notice that RSI is at a critical level we haven't seen since the COVID drop. And so I wouldn't be surprised, as I've said on Bitcoin as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bounce up. On Bitcoin, a bounce to say 40K. On Ethereum, a bounce to say maybe even 3K, or maybe if we're very conservative, 2,600 to 2,800. But I think, it wouldn't be illogical to see a bounce here across the market. But again, my short-term prediction doesn't matter. What matters is the longer-term trend, and the longer-term trend is very much downwards. And so I'm not even going to buy back in until we see a trend reversal or a bottom out in 200. So doesn't look good. We're between resistance and support, and I think that at the best case scenario, we'll see a rejection of support and a come down to resistance here. And I think that resistance is going to come, support, is going to come at 2K to 1,700. I think that Ethereum, when Bitcoin reaches 30K, Ethereum will be at 2,000 USD. And when Bitcoin bottoms, it will be at 1,700 USD, or possibly, in the worst case scenario, right, possibly even down here at 1,200 USD to around 900 USD. That is the worst case scenario for Ethereum in my personal opinion. I think that Ethereum, although I'm not a massive fan of Ethereum in terms of fundamentals, and I don't really hold much Ethereum, I still think that it has the longevity, it has the utility, lots of coins are built on the Ethereum network, for example, to survive the bear market. I think Ethereum will survive, of course, and I think it will still be will be number 2 by the time the next bull market comes around. And so I am confident in Ethereum, and I think that the bottoming out zone, I've previously said 1,700. I still stand by that, but what I will say is that it could go lower. It's hard to say because Bitcoin is what I know decisively. I don't know decisively for Ethereum. I'm assuming 1,200, okay? 1,700, sorry. I'm assuming 1,700. But if we drop below 1,700, we're going straight down to 1,200. Okay, so very important to kind of note. The thing with Ethereum, and the reason why I can't be as confident with Ethereum, is because Ethereum doesn't have these strong indicators like we do on Bitcoin. With the 200-week SMA, we've got the 4-year cycle, we've got many things that played out a bunch of times, and we know precisely what's going to happen due to the historical data. Ethereum's newer than Bitcoin. It's less prominent than Bitcoin in the market. It controls less, and so we don't have these strong trends and these strong lines to kind of be like, that's where it's going to bottom exactly. We have to guess. And my guess is between 1,700 and 1,200, but I would favor 1,700 on Ethereum.